Well, welcome to another Studio One, and that of course was a very wonderful Smiths taken from an old Tube session. We have Morrissey in the studio with us, which is great. Morrissey, thanks for coming.
It's nice to be here.
Now, it's been an incredible success story for the Smiths, especially over the last year. I mean, just becoming a cult band, you're now huge, topping every poll there is practically in all the music press. Are you astonished by it or delighted?
I think delighted, because we expected it. We have very strong ideals and very high hopes, and we couldn't really consider failure, which a lot of people think is arrogance, but it's not. We were very sure of what we wanted to do, and I think when you're very sure of what you want to do, you can do it.
Why do you think people do accuse you of arrogance? Because I know the music press have a really rather funny tack towards you.
Yes, they do, and I think it's because they, and again this sounds arrogant, but I think they probably feel that I'm somewhat too clever to do what I do, which sounds like absolute arrogance, but I don't think many journalists are used to people who are making records having a very clear statement and a very clear vision of where they want to go, and it's very unusual, and when it happens it makes people uneasy.
Because the old theory of most rock journalists being failed musicians is another one, isn't it?
It's true, I find it's absolutely true.
Because a lot of your lyrics are, well, as they say as well, very clever. Do you think they're just annoyed they didn't write them?
I don't know about that, It makes me sad because it's true, and it makes me sad because I think there's a lot of people who are involved in music who really don't consider it to be an art form, and they get quite shocked when something serious comes along, and I think that's very sad. Now,
a lot of your songs are very serious and all the lyrics are a lot to do with pain, at least that's the way it seems to me. Did you have a very painful youth?
Yes, I think I did. Yes, I certainly did, and it becomes very difficult to talk about because people think that that's your total standpoint and that you're trapped in your adolescence, and here I am plunging towards 26 and I'm still talking about those times. I'm not encased in that period, but it was very painful. It was very troublesome, and I can't really forget it.
Getting quite a big chance now because of the enormous amount of people who worship the Smiths to make very, very clear points, especially with the Meat is Murder album. Now, do you have some sense of responsibility from that point, because people really are listening to what you're saying?
Yes, I think so, but I think it's good to have a sense of responsibility. I want it. If the Smiths were simply just another pop group, there'd be no point, because anybody can do that, it's easy. So I think it's really important to have a particularly precious platform and for people to see you in a particular way. There are problems. We still find it quite difficult to get daytime national airplay because of that reason. But mostly, I think it's quite gratifying.
Right, well, let's have a look at it. This is Meat is Murder.